Hey explorers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Nex Revolution, Episode 7, Star Survey. First thing I'm going to do in this stream is offer you the opportunity to vote what Nex does next. So, I could continue building up a nest egg running paid missions. The benefit of that, of course, would be to get paid and also to gain reputation with the factions that we want to befriend. I could also improve the reputation with the Pirates and Independents, and also possibly Tritac. There would be a reason to improve our relation with Tritac as well. We could also just survey for colonizable worlds, and there would be a way for me to do that more efficiently, and if that gets voted on, I would take the initiative to do it efficiently, or result in smuggling for a nest aid for colonization. That way we could just bounce around the core worlds, not risking a whole lot. It might piss off some of the factions to black market a lot of stuff, but yeah, that's an opportunity as well. So, looks like colonization is going to be the popular option here. And given that, or the survey for colonization, and given that, I am going to start preparing for that. But I'm going to leave the poll up for another minute and a half anyway. Glitch, thank you for the bits, and Quantum for the gifted subs. Thank you so very much, and cheers. So there is obviously a very fast way to do surveying, and I am going to try to like min-max it. Oh, and Jojakim. Well, thank you everybody. I'm going to try to make surveying as painless as possible, if that's what people want me to do. And I had some plans to do it, so we can get on to it. So I'm headed back to the abandoned station where my ships are dry docked. And I am going to put away the heavy machinery. Now, yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit. So let's put away the artifacts here. The beta cores, the gamma cores, you know, stuff that like I wouldn't want to lose if I blow up a ship. And then, in terms of ships, I'm going to drop all my ships off and just take the glitch ship here. Committing it myself. Because this ship has pretty good fuel storage and pretty good cargo storage, and I could definitely turn it into a surveyor. There's no problem doing that. Oops. But I have way too much cargo. I'm not going to worry too much about like the money that I need to make right now. I'm going to keep some supplies on board for surveying. Now, the one thing that this ship will will be missing is crew in order for surveys. So that's what I was going to do. I was going to try to set this up for to be a really functional surveyor. Now, in terms of the demods it has degraded field drive, which is not great because it increases the sensor profile and slows us down. Increased maintenance and phase instability. And what I wanted to do is to restore it. It's a little bit expensive, but I think in the long run I'm going to benefit from it. And then I want to add some mods to it. So I'm going to add a augmented drive field so I can move faster. And then I also wanted to add in solar shielding, and I wanted to S-mod that. So the S-modded solar shielding will protect me from hyperspace storms and solar corona and other hazards like that, allowing me to just blitz through the galaxy without really having to avoid anything, which is kind of awesome. And then I also mentioned that the limitation that it has is I don't have enough crew berthing, so I'm going to add additional berthing to it as well and see what my crew comes up to. Because if I find out worlds that aren't necessarily colonizable, but they have ruins on them, I would like to have the opportunity to be able to, you know, survey them anyway, so that I can loot the ruins. The one thing I am missing is the survey equipment in terms of in terms of talent points. So I actually wanted to do a little bit of respec, because I can pick that up here from makeshift equipment, and in the process also get hull restoration. So one of the things I was planning on doing is only doing hull restoration once I had a colony set up, so that I could slowly start to restore these two ships without having to pay to restore them, because paying to restore them is really expensive. But I don't want to be, you know, flying around with those ships in my fleet, because that's also really expensive. So I was going to wait until I was ready to colonize to get the two battleships operational. So I don't necessarily need to run the no debonds right now, but I think it would help for me to either respec for makeshift equipment or try to buy surveying equipment as a mod. And Mindsettle, thank you for the gifted subs as well. And Torvasker for the resub, Bonut for the resub. Thank you, thank you. So let's update that priority now. Survey for colonizable worlds. Now there is an issue with this, which is with Nexerelin, the other factions are going to try to do this as well. Ooh, I want that. They are going to be colonizing. So I'm in a bit of a land race against them for who can get out and start surveying first. So it looks like my crew capacity... I think there's one other thing I want to do here. I might want to buy a ship that allows me to shuttle crew around, if I can find one. Because I only have a max crew of 180, and that's not going to be enough to survey most worlds that I find. And I could spend the points to S-mod that as well, so that it doesn't get hit by solar storms. Let's see. I could go for a Starliner, but that's rather big and expensive. I was hoping not to have like a giant ship. A Valkyrie would be good if I had Marines and I wanted to invade people, but again, that's not exactly what I'm going for here. Mudskipper is like oddly not a terrible idea, as long as it didn't, you know, because the Mudskipper can have a crew of 75 and I could berth that up a bit, and they're very cheap to run. Yeah, I'm gonna poke around like a few more markets to see. Oh yeah, here's a Mudskipper that isn't broken. Max crew of 100. I'm gonna do it. And the thing is, with the Mudskipper, I don't necessarily need to add solar shielding to it, because I don't really care if it gets like rocked by storms. This is actually not a big deal to me. So what I can do is do berthing and cargo, and because it's a really small ship, it moves really fast. And that raises my crew up to 310, which should be enough to survey most of the reasonable sized worlds. It's not going to allow me to survey gas giants, but everything short of a gas giant should be all right. My max burn is not really affected. The Mudskipper moves at 9, and I have navigation, so it moves at 10. So yeah, this will work. All right. I'm just going to black market a little bit of supplies and food and go back to the abandoned station to pick up the crew that I have just sort of sitting there. Okay, and I'm going to be rolling with max crew so that I can survey the most amount of stuff possible. So let's go ahead and see what's closest to the core. The closer I am to the core, the more trade potential it has. because of the proximity to the core increases the availability of the markets. So why one ship? The fewer ships that I have, the cheaper it will be. Few ships means... Oh, and I guess I can raffle off this little mud skipper. Few ships means that my running costs are low. My fuel costs and supply costs are low. My crew costs are low. It's a way to save money. Because I don't have passive income in the game. So I want a tiny fleet so that I'm not spending big. Because if I'm... As soon as the fleet, like... If I incorporate like a gunship and, you know, as soon as I start adding other ships, it just makes everything more expensive and it will make everything take longer and grind everything to a halt. So this is the way I'm going to do it. All right, there's nothing here. And I'm really only looking for habitable worlds, which cuts down what, you know, I could just poke my head into a system and just see, oh, okay, there's like an arid world or a jungle world or whatever. And if there's not, I just leave. That way, this is pretty painless. And it gives me a good idea of like where the jump gates are, because I also see jump gates that way. So it's a good way to just plot out the galaxy without too much pain. What is my options using my current ship in combat? Literally, it can't be used in combat. It's impossible to use this ship in combat. It has no mount points. There's no weapons on it, so I don't have an opinion on it. It's yeah. Oop, there's people sitting right near the gate. Hello, who are you? You are Ludchurch. I don't need to stay here. So far, haven't found much. Now, of course, I'm not spotting ruins this way, right? I'm not actually doing visual confirmation on any of the places that I'm heading to. I'm not confirming that they have ruins or not. I'm just checking for habitable worlds. And if anything looks even remotely habitable, I can go in for a closer look. Now, it's not just habitable worlds that I would be looking for. It is a system that has at least one farming world, like this one, this arid world. At least one world that I can farm on, and then another world, ideally one that is non-habitable for an orbital works. The ideal situation would be a very hot world in order to deploy fleets from a high command, and then it doesn't have to be the same world, but then a world that is non-habitable, because a nanoforge, if it's habitable, will make it polluted, ruining its habitability anyway. Oh, there's a Phaeton floating here. Do I want a Phaeton? I do not, but I will loot it anyway. And then, you know, so a very hot, non-habitable world for like mining potentially, and also for deploying fleets from. And then maybe, yeah, it depends on what you're really hoping for. So this world here is potentially colonizable. It doesn't have really good farmland, but the important thing is a farm world should not have transplutonic ore, and this one doesn't. Because if it has transplutonic ore, you can't use farming nanites in the soils. Ruins has extended shield mod and gamma core. Nice. So it's not amazing, but it might actually be the best one we found so far. Oh, a Colossus with supplies. I'm actually going to dump the guns. I don't really care about them. Take as much supplies as I can. I could put these in a stable orbit, but it's doubtful that I'm going to be back. So if we did colonize this world, I did want to check out what the other one is like. It's extreme heat, And no atmosphere. No atmosphere is actually not amazing, but I'll survey it anyway. So it has... Yeah, this is an okay system. It's not amazing, but it's okay, because it's this is an extremely hot world that has transplutonic ore and a decent amount of regular ore. And it has extreme heat, which is something that we'd be looking to do. Its hazard rating is a little higher, but most extreme heat worlds are going to have a higher hazard rating anyway. So, it's a contender. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop the surveying now. There might be a better world just around the corner. But, yeah, it's not a bad system at all. Has no fuel production capabilities. That much is true. Now, with that said, it might be possible to find adjacent systems close to Alpha Gindram that have volatiles to be mined or harvested. The other thing that... Oh, and there's a gate adjacent. The other thing that is important to point out, I would say, is that in Nexerelin, you don't... So in vanilla... in vanilla Starsector, once a planet becomes of a certain size, you're kind of stuck with it. Whereas in Nexerelin, you have the opportunity to gift planets you don't want to other factions for reputation. So if we start colonizing something now, and we're like, you know what, we outgrew this, there's a better system later on, we can actually just gift the system. Or alternatively, put it under AI control. Oh, the Hedge and their allies are the dominant power. Conquest, victory, hegemony. That's a thing. I think it's because they've been... Yeah, their war waged against Persean League has been going too well. All the more reason to fight them at some point. Yeah, they captured Persean's, like, homeworld or something. Okay, we have this gate now. Might as well check out these planets. I'm in the galactic neighborhood. Oh, I even scanned the gas giant on that one. And this gas giant, I mean, we don't have enough people to even survey it, but it's a basic gas giant, as far as I could tell. Alright. Continue out from Belicho, the core world. I'll do Belicia here and then go over to Shevar. I'm just trying to get everything close to core first, and then I'll work my way out. Go away, Sensor Ghost. This doesn't look like I'll have anything. Oh, I was wrong. How's a desert world? Looks like a hot desert world, like a stormy one. Oh, I was right. Well, it doesn't have any ruins, so I'm not even going to bother surveying it. Frozen world, barren, 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 all barren. Okay, nothing's here. Pirate base is on this planet somewhere, because they own everything here. Again, a system with nothing. The good news is my running costs are fairly inexpensive. And half of all the times I go through storms, I don't even take damage because my flagship can't be hurt by storms. I didn't want to spend the story point to improve the mud skipper, because mud skippers are kind of like blah, you know, who cares? How do you play this game? Fractal Softworks, or just Google, as chat is telling you. It's not sold on Steam, so you're not going to find it there. Okay, there's double desert worlds over there. Guarded probes. Check out these desert worlds. Now, a system with like double desert worlds, even though they're somewhat habitable, is not a system that I would be interested in, because I don't need 2 farming worlds. I need like a farming world and a mining world and a, you know, a fuel world, something like that. The big one is probably too big to survey. Yeah, it is. Wow, that is a big rocky planet. Holy heck. So if we had a little bit more crew here, we could survey it. And the probe orbiting it wasn't guarded, so I got that. So there's ruins on the big one, and we'd have to come back for it. We're almost done with Shevar, and then after Shevar, maybe work our way to Kitten, or whatever it is, and then Balrog. Kitten and Balrog border one another. What a weird galaxy this is. So, there is a widespread rebellion against hegemony to oppose their hegemony. So we'll see if they push the conquest victory along. Interesting that the rebellion is originating within hegemony's alliance members. And yeah, the hegemony are getting disrupted as a result. Their orbital works and the like. So there's a lot of inner turmoil in the core worlds, and here I am on the outskirts surveying. I found a pirate base here. What another system to hop out of. Oh, this is a red giant. I'm just going to slip search. Much faster. Is this where I want to be? Sumu? Yes. So I would say in the last like 20 minutes or so, I have surveyed quite a bit. Like 2 full constellations. Just because I'm doing a planet survey only. Makes it go a lot faster. It's weird that there's 2 jump points next to one another. Oh, this is an interesting system. It's a yellow star in the same... Oh, this is owned. Who owns this? The Luddic Church is settled out here. They found a jungle world. Hot, extreme weather, abundant organics, abundant ore, and rich farmland out here. So this is probably a recent settlement from the Luddic Church. Okay. Could I take it over? I mean, you can take anything over in this game. It's just a matter of having the Navy to do it. Having the Armada to do it. So if you don't, well, you are technically able, but functionally incapable. Now, to analyze, would I even want it? That, of course, would give you a good breadbasket world. I don't know about this gas giant, but I don't think that there's a hot world. I doubt that the barren world is hot. It could be, though. So, yeah, that might be a possibility if I want to war with the church, which I'm not against doing. So we can consider that as an option. I would just need a fleet and some marines, and also to be ready for church's reaction to having the world taken. This is a remnant system. Oh, I see some ruins. There is a whole bunch of broken ships down there that I don't want. So really nothing fancy in the ruins. But there's an onslaught. Sitting, orbiting. Yeah, I will use a story point for that. So this is only a 2... Oh, it's an outdated onslaught. I see. I don't mind. It's free. And now it's part of my fleet. I'm going to mothball it and head back towards core. So I'm going to head to Azea to dry dock it at Ming Daddy, whatever it's called. Was there anything else in this system? No, there's no reason to come back here. Are there jump gates nearby? I don't believe so. Alpha Mesh is kind of nearby, but I guess one in Ayla up here might be a little closer. And then to jump over to Ming Dadi. Because with the mothballed broken ship, you know, any of these storms could actually just destroy the ship. Which would suck. Finding treasure and then breaking it. Trying to bring it home. Alright, Ayla, your gate is in the north. There we go. Another raffle? Nope. Just like I said last stream, I don't raffle ships up that I'm not using. Because I'm going to be dumping this into dry dock, and I won't have the capacity to actually raffle it, because it won't be in my fleet. Can't name something that you don't fly around with. So, same rules of last week still apply. Nothing's changed. But it's a good opportunity to refuel and then sell some of the junk I have. So transfer ships. Transferred. So now we have 2. An elite battleship and an outdated battleship. With, like, no difference between the two. It's funny how they give them the name. As far as cargo goes, I'm going to hold on to the class 5 survey data, and I can sell the lower survey data. And in fact, what I think I'll do is grab most of what's just stored here and sell it. Maybe not the heavy machinery, because I'll probably end up using it. But all of this junk I can sell, because I don't really care much for it. Buy a little on the open market so they're not pissed. That's probably more supplies than I need. And I didn't even top up my fuel, so I can try to do that as well. So, for those that were a little confused, what I'm talking about for specialty planets, for instance, would be like a cryoarithmetic engine really only benefits worlds that have extreme heat, which increase the fleet size for high commands. So that's like one example of, if I want powerful fleets, I need to have a planet. Well, I don't need to have a planet, but ideally you want to have a extreme heat planet in the same system that you have your breadbasket planet. Or the Fullerene spool. It can't be installed on gas giants or planets with extreme weather or extreme tectonic activity. So all of those deserts that have extreme weather can't benefit from a Fullerene spool, which means the accessibility of the planet that I colonize goes down, which means trade goes down, which means profits go down. So I'm trying to find a system with the right sort of chemistry so that I can take advantage of things like Fullerene spool or cryoarithmetic engine or soil nanites or whatever else artifacts I end up finding. Now, I did survey everything around the coronal hypershunt, and nothing within 10 light years really stood out, which means we might not have use of this coronal hypershunt. There's still one more coronal hypershunt somewhere else in the galaxy, so I'm going to obviously hold on to it. But once we find that other, it might even make sense to sell that, because it's not benefiting us if we can't use it. What's the fastest way back to Balrog? Jumping to Ayla? Or something? Most of the core worlds don't even have gates. Like, most of them really don't. Sarasa does. I think I checked them all. So, I believe all of the core world gates are active for me already. There's not a lot of core worlds. So yeah, I'll go back to Ayla and then go back to Balrog. I think after I finish with this constellation, if you would like to change the priority, feel free to vote to change it. Maybe I'll also do Zendar as well. And y'all, I don't know. I'll just finish up this constellation and whatever time I have left on the vote timer. Alright, this is a warning beacon world. Got it. We'll do the easier world first. Oh, this is a big system. Ideally, I'd want to colonize like a big system like this one. If it had the right planets. Because then there's a lot of potential colonies. And the reason is, you, the player, without making use of AI cores for colonization, are somewhat soft-capped at 5 worlds. Whereas if you use AI cores, there is no soft cap. Oh, I left all the heavy machinery behind. So I can't survey, that's not good. A weapons cache. Thunderwing blueprint. Okay. Let's go get the heavy machinery and come back, because Chigara there is has ruins, and I would like that. I could probably just blast back slip surging with the help of this blue giant. Might be, yeah, that's probably even faster than gating. Hey, Cthulhu, thank you for the resub. And Malin too. The adventure goes well. Thank you for asking. Say 150 is probably fine, right? I might want a little bit of room for things I find. The running cost of this fleet's pretty cheap. Is there a quick way to search for the second hyper shunt thingy? No, there is no shortcut way. So, Chigara, there we go. It's not even just blue giants, from what I recall, for the coronal hypershunts. Let me double check that, though. I think they can spawn around other giants. So, coronal hypershunt... can be found either around the coronal of blue giants or supergiants, or floating between stars of a trinary system with at least 2 different colored stars. So you would have to go to all of the blue giant, supergiant, and trinary systems to find it. We could do that. What I could do is I could have a follow-up poll, because the poll's already over. And the follow-up poll could be, should I search for colonizable systems or the hypershunt? How's that sound? What survey should I run? Colony worlds or hypershunt? Oops, don't exit. That's not what I meant to click. So, like, this system is both a blue giant and a trinary system. It might even be in this system. I can go over to the blue star and check. Not a lot of treasure, but can't all be wonderful. Hello, Remnant. I have no way of really defending myself. I have like a mud skipper, so... Whoa, that is a lot of ruins. What the hell happened there? Maximum Kessler syndrome. Oh. That's a lot of stuff. Operations center. Blueprints. Tons of transphotonics that I probably want to put in stable orbit. Because it's just worth a lot. So 400 days before the orbit destabilizes, and I gotta get the hell away from this little remnant because I have no defensive capabilities. So trick, got it. That was a good find. All those transphotonics. The other thing I could do with them is to store them for the, without spoiling, for the redacted reason, down in the bottom left. How's that for an unspoiled spoiler? Oh, this might have the hyper... No, that doesn't look like a big enough ping. No, it's a supply cache, though. Which I just realized I don't have room for. So I'll take as much as I can. Okay, the shunt's not around here. Got it. Let's bounce out. Benin, thank you for the sub. So you guys want me to survey for the hyper shunt. Okay. Search for the second shunt. So it's not going to be in those two. Not going to be over here. There's a red giant down there. I think it has to be blues, though, not just red giants. Did we search Lugast? Is that where it was? No. It was originally a pair. Yeah. So we searched around pair. I can't say with any certainty that I actually went to Lugast. So that's my first stop. That's a lot of fuel. Too bad I don't have more space. Maybe before I do that, I go back to Azea and dump some of my supplies, because I'm already full up. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Nex Revolution, which originally streamed live on Twitch May 2nd. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Starsector players.